Hey, Fitzy here, back at it again with another one. A lot of you guys been asking. I can't wait till you get started on the wheel tubs. Well, guess what? I got started on the wheel tubs. Stick around. So where were we to on this one last? We finished up the transmission tunnel, got all that done, so all the front floors are done. Look, I put the seat in, bolts in. Some have asked about the seats, how you mount the seats. Them 4 holes are, the bottom of these got the like nuts in the bottom of the seat, and you go up through the seat this way, and they bolt into the bottom of the seat, and that's the reason, that's how the seat bolts in, okay? But a number of you asked about that, which I find quite interesting. But anyway, so I got all the floors done on the front side this here now. The next thing I'm getting into now is I'm going to do these wheel tubs, okay? These here I'm going to do them a lot different than what you usually see guys doing wheel tubs. I just want a challenge, I think. I could have made this idea I got in my head, I could have made it a lot easier. But I'm going to do it anyway because it's something I want to do and try. Over the years I've done a lot of Pro Street cars. I'll put some pictures in here and there of cars that have done wheel tubs, all that type of stuff, and I've even played around with like old hot rods and stuff like that, making all kinds of, I've made a lot of this stuff back here before. It's not my first rodeo when it comes to building wheelhouses and stuff like that. First thing I'm going to have to do here now before we get started on this here is we've got to get in there so we can actually see what we're at. I just got an idea of where I'm going to have the height of the wheel tub. I just figured that out roughly. I know that it's got to be higher than the tire. The tire doesn't come up higher than the frame rail, but I'm going to go up above it anyway. And you can see how low the tire is on this side. This is the lowest the tire will be on this car. And so I'm just going to build a wheel tub in there that will look presentable in the car. I'm not worried about it. It may have like 5 or 6 inches above it or more to the top of the tire itself. So there'll be lots of tire clearance there up inside the wheel well. It'll never hit it, but I'm looking for symmetrics inside the car. If I was to turn around, I could have made a flat tub in this here, going to the floor, going out to the side, and I wasn't going to that. So I'm going to get this rear end hauled out of it. That's what I got to get done here. Get the springs, get everything out of my way so I can actually get in there and get working on this here. So I'm just going to get all this hauled out and get this up on a higher platform so I can actually get in there. And then when it comes back, we can get started on these wheel tubs. So I got everything taken out the back, rear end, springs, all that is out of it now. It's out of my way. I got her up on caster stands here. I can move her around if I need be. What we're into here now is I got to build wheel tubs. Get this in here. I got to build wheel tubs now from the quarter panel into the frame rails. Most times you just go out and you get a round flat piece and then you go straight out and you weld it onto the quarter panel or you glue it onto the quarter panel, somehow, shape, or form like that. I've done that in the past. This one here, I want to do a little bit different. I want to retain my front panels that went in this car. Well, I'm going to make new ones, but they mounted to the wheel tub, okay, the way they went. And I want to have an oval style wheel tub in the back of the car. I don't want to have like the typical, what I call like the 45-gallon drum style wheel tub, right? So what I've got done here, you can see how wide it's got to be. I'm going to go from the full width from there all the way to there. But if you look up here, you can see right here where my fingers to, that's the framing, and it's same with up front and up there. That there continues on to the front there. So I want us to build it in 2 halves. I want us to build the outer tub and then I want us to build the inner tub, okay? And I want it to join right there, and that way when it comes time to mount front panels, I can mount front panels. This is what I'm doing. I still have the original wheel tubs. Look, rust. The original wheel tubs from the Toyota itself, okay? I want to incorporate these into it because of the shape, okay? You see the way they're shaped there. I want to look in the trunk, and I want to see that type of thing in the trunk of the car. That wheel tub, like that. I don't mind what's out here. That can be a straight tub. I don't mind that. This is the bracing I'm talking about here. I want to incorporate that back into it. Up in front here, you can see the way the panel used to mount on the front, going up through here. I want to try to reuse as much of this as I possibly can. and I don't know how much of it I'm going to be actually using. I got a couple of ideas in my head, but what I got to do first is I got to clean everything up on this here and start test fitting this piece here, okay? The idea I got in my head is to just cut this stuff here clear and leave this lip here and widen it from here, and then do the same thing on the inside, widen it from there. It's a lot easier to make the shapes because this is not a perfectly round wheel tub, okay? It's got shapes going on with it as well. And if I retain this piece here, I can just maneuver this around up front so that I can still have these button spots on the front side of it. That welds onto the rocker lip here, and then that comes across here. This brace here, I'll incorporate that back into it somehow. But I'll have this section here, and all I'll do is I'll put a band in across from here. I'll cut this off here, and I'll put a band in here and move this inside. Much the same way they widen tubs like in Mustangs and stuff like that, right? And the outside edge, when I cut these out, I left part of the wheel lip there, see? And so I'll cut this here, right here, and I'll just add my wheel tub from there on out, okay? That's the idea I have going through my head right now. But first thing I got to do is I got to clean up all this stuff that's on this here, these brackets. This is the original seat mount unit. I'm going to take that off it. Just going to drill out spot welds, get clear of them. I'm just going to take a zip blade now and just cut that right off. This is, the thing about this wheel tub is extremely light. There's no weight to this because it's only like 24 gauge metal. So it's going to be tricky probably to weld to and whatnot, but I don't mind that so much. I've been used to that, welding that car up before. So, but I'm going to go ahead and get everything cleaned off of this here. I want to get a cut off and along here, just so I got this inner well, and then I got to start sizing up how that's going to fit in the frame rail back there against this section of the car here. So. So, I got everything cleaned off. I cut the bottom off it. I just left a little bead on the top side of it because it was all spot welded down here. It was rusty. There's still some rust in there. I'm not too concerned about it right now. I trimmed it up across the top here. I come back about an inch from the lip, cut it off, drilled out all these spot welds, and removed them brackets. Didn't need them. Okay. I went and cleaned up this piece then. I got that cleaned up so it's an inch on either side. There, and so that there now, that will be my joiner point, and this will be where my panels will mount. I probably won't exactly go there because I'm going to have to change the angle on this because this is going to go sort of like this in the car now, see? So, I got that all cleaned up so that can be reused. And of course, I just cut that off, just left that aside. I might want to reuse some of that to in the trunk so I can support this to the back dash, right? But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go over and do a quick test fit on this here in the car and see where I likes to have it. So there's my first test fit. I just got it clamped in place there now. I got to take it out and do some trimming on it because I don't like the way it's rolling off here on these edges here. I want to get this rolled edge tighter to this straight edge here. So I'm going to take that off there now where I got it marked. I'm going to cut some of the metal off it, flatten some metal out, and re-test fit it again. Won't be using a lot of it, will I? I'm going to come down here now, take this here, cut this along here, down along here, get clear of all this. And over here, I'm going to come over this way here and stop about right here and just come straight down. I'm going to leave that alone for now because I got some work to do up front here to figure this out. I'm also probably going to have to widen this as well. I don't know if I got to it now or not because when I'm raising this up, the circumference goes out wider on the bottom, see? The wheel tub is bigger than what the car was originally. Where I moved it up, the circle has moved up, so the arch now goes out farther here. Like this would have been down lower, down here somewhere, but by moving it up now, the arch has moved out to here, see? If you follow that flow, it'll come out to here, right? So, Anyway, I want to get this marked up, get this trimmed up, and get it dollied and see what I can come up with. I got to flatten this off a small bit up along here so it fits in the car nicer, and we'll go from there. I just dollied it up along here, flatten this out. So when you flip it over now, it'll actually sit flat on the table here. That's where I wanted to have it. So now this will fit flat against the rail. Fitting a lot better there now. I'm going to take it out now, dolly this corner a bit more. I like this here. This is good going here. That's good going along there. So dolly that up now. So here's where I'm to. I got that fitting better in there now. I like the way that fits up along here. Okay. And I went ahead and I mocked up the middle structure there, and I clamped it on to where it originally was. Now the whole wheel tub was raised up, see, from where it originally was in the car, and I'm going to say it's raised up a good 4 inches. And by doing that, the circumference of this here, I thought I was going to have to split this and widen it, but I don't have to. Okay, I've already sized it all up. This comes down here and is about this far away from the wheel well here, and up in front, I extends it down. You can see it here. If I extend that down to the wheelhouse down there, that's going to be wide enough because that'll be going on an angle anyway, and same with here. Now this here is going to stop here because I got to build a box around here. This in here is going to be a little bit complicated, okay? I'm not going to get too much into this here right now because I got to have this coming over down here. There's a box here because I got to have it so that there's, I can get wrenches in at that there. And so I'm going to build a box over there. So I'm going to be a bit tangly in this area here, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. I'll get to that when it gets down there. But you can see now the way this here comes down. This is what the panel will mount to, up along here. And I got to put a strip in here. That'll weld on there. If you go over to the other side and look across, you can see now the way that there is going to be going down through there, that I can mount my panel to it, right? And I can also then, back here, I'll be able to run my inner wheel well off of this here, right? And one of the main reasons why I like that here, now I can go up here and I can go from this structure down to here and put strength back in it again using that piece that I got there. And put a piece back in there, so then that'll give it more strength. And of course then I just got to build my outer wheel tub. So I went in and had some lunch, and I got thinking about everything that's going on here and what would be the best way for me to turn around and approach this, and what I should do, and what I think what I need to do here first is I'm going to have to get the piece of metal to go, a strip to go on there, and cleco the two of them together. I got to cleco it onto that one there first and get it all situated so I can get it all clecoed together so I can actually fit it in place, because I don't know where that's going to exactly go up here on this top side. Or I don't know exactly where this to. If I can make two of these temporarily one, I can turn around and start fitting things together a lot snugger. So what I'm going to do here now, I'm going to haul this piece out here now. First of all, I'm going to take a measurement here, and I'm going to overlap here and overlap here for now, make a piece longer, and I'm going to measure from giving myself about another inch on the bottom here, and then go right over the other end and go right down to the frame rail, down to here on the other side. So I got to strip that long, and I'm just going to get it there, and then I'm going to join it onto this one first and go right around with it, and then I'm going to put that up in place, and then I'll put this wheel tub up in place, clamp it on where it got to be, and then I'll drill a few holes and cleco that onto that. I measured up how much I needed and get a bit of overlapping on both. A piece 5 inches wide will work. I measured from here, I come down an inch from here, and I measured all the way over to here. And then I added 8 inches. That'll bring me right down to the rocker panel. And it came out to be 51 inches. That's how big of a piece I need. And here it is all marked out. I'm going to go ahead now and zip that off there and get the strip out. So here's where I'm to. I got the strip cut out, and I just took it in my hands to just give it a little quirk, just so I got a bit of a roll in it. Then I come over on the bench here, and I went and squared off the ends of this here. Like this came off here, kind of up on a bit of an angle, and I went and laid it in the vise this way here and flattened it out. And I got that all flattened out, and then I turned around, I come in here and I cleaned off the undercoating. It's scraped off. There's nothing holding the undercoating on that. Still shiny underneath where the anodizing was still. So I got that cleaned off. It's strange that wasn't seam sealed in there either, because that's usually a seam sealed section in there. It was only seam sealed on either end. That was it. All this up here was nothing done with it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this piece of steel and start clamping on this end here and work my way around it, and setting it up and putting a couple of clecos in it so that it got the actual shape that I'm after. I'm going to leave an inch on this end here, and then the rest of it is just going to go off that end there. So here's what I got done. I got clecos every so often, all the way around just to hold that in place. Now I'm going to go over and test fit it. You can see it's nice and long up on this end here. I'm going to end up building a lip on this side here, and this side here is going to go down to the rocker. And over here I'm leaving it an inch longer because I wanted the trunk to come into this here, and I want something to weld here. So I'm going to go over now and see if I can fit this into the car with this piece on it. Ooh. I'm playing around with it here, tweaking it here. Still got to be moved around a small bit, but I need to trim some stuff off up into the back corner here, up in there, where the this lip here overlaps up here. I got to trim off some stuff there, and up here. When you get in here, where's the yes? Right here, I got to trim off some stuff along here, so this here will come out. There's an inner lip here that's in the way that I got to trim off to get that to come out. But I'm pretty pleased with that, how it fits. When you get in here then, it comes down to the bottom of the panel that I want it to go to right here. So that was working out there. It just needs, like this section here needs to rotate this way, probably 1/4 of an inch or so. A little bit more, but it seems to be fitting where I want it to. And like when you're looking through, it looks the part going up along there. It's going to flow nice in the trunk of the car when you look in there. Okay. So I'm going to pop that out and do some trimming, and then see if I can get that to go back in there where I'm happy with it. And I like to put a couple of clecos in this here so that I can actually get this all one unit with the clecos. And I'll know exactly where everything got to go then. So I got it in there, all held with clecos now. It's all held together, it's all one unit. Both sides now are joined together. I got clecos put in here, I got clecos put into the body in here, or into the chassis rails, and through here. And you can see them up there. Yeah, clecos there. Then put in there, and I got a cleco put in down there to hold that in place. And I got a cleco right there, holding into the side panel, so that got the height of it figured out. So that is in place there now. What I can do now is I can take that out of the car and I can make it all one piece. I'm here sizing things up, trying to figure out what I'm going to do. And I got to think on it some more. You saw me with the piece I put in there. I could trim that down so I can actually fit the factory brace back in it again. That'll be spot welded on and through here later on. Not going to do that now, but I got it trimmed up, ready to go. The way all this is going to work down here, trunk floor is going to come straight out. This lip here lines up with that lip down there. This is going to have a typical trunk in it, going to go over with a trunk drop off in it, okay? There'll be pockets on both sides of the car, not going out to the quarter panels. I'm making this look like the way it was originally. So I always like the pockets. I never liked the quarter panel, the flat floors I've ever had out to the side. It just didn't look right. And to me, it's just more storage. You can put weight down there, see? Put all kinds of weight down there, and then, you know, for doing wheelies. Yeah, cool. Or traction. Yeah, traction. That's what I want it for. But sizing up a lot of things there. It's coming together. I trimmed up the front section. You can barely see it in through there. I got that marked now where I want to trim that off some more. That's going to be a little bit more tangly. that front section, but I have a game plan for it. I won't get into it now, but you can see the way I got that trimmed off down to there. What I'm going to end up doing now, I'm going to call her a day, and I'm going to think about this, because I keep thinking about when I goes to put this in, what way I want to put it in, because I got to build the outside section yet, and the outside section will go from down to here, see, and go right up around, and there'll be a piece put out here. We'll get into it right now. I'll get into that when I start on it. So I'm going to think about this some now, and probably pop this out, take this apart, clean it up, put it back together again, tack weld it together, test fit it, and then see what it's like, and then probably do the cut and butt up through here, the cut and butt up through here, and have that finished. That's where I keep thinking I should be going with that. And up here I got to extend the lip as well. This lip here, you can see that lip there got to continue on down to there. This here got to come down and end here, right? Because this outside one is going to go right to the very bottom here, right? So anyway, until tomorrow. So it's the next day now, and I'm out here, and what I did is I went and hauled it out of the car. I'm looking at what I got going on here. I got a number of things going on here. And what I decided I'm going to do is I'm going to trim up this one here where it got to be trimmed up, get it all stripped down, get all these holes welded up, get this piece welded to this piece here. I'm going to do the cut and butt down through here and get that welded to that, so that's done. I'm not going to weld that on there yet. I just, I got to do some thinking, because I got to build the inner structure first, and I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to do it, and I'm just not going to get into that right now. So what I need to do now is try to make less work on myself. So I know for a fact that this got to be joined to this, and it's not an issue. So I'm going to go ahead now, and what I'm going to do here first is I'm going to set up the top of the bottle in this here, and I'm going to dolly this here right along here, get a nice tight fit here, and then I'm going to take it all apart, clean up all the metal here, clean up my edges here, and then start welding this together, and then start doing the cut and butt on it. So here I got everything grinded up. I went and dollied this end here, trimmed off the end of it here, got this all dollied flat. I just laid it flat on the bench this way here and then tapped it down, so all this here is the same plane. Went around, grinded off everything where I had to do some welding, and then I put it back together and with the Clecos. Now there's a bit of a gap in everything here, but what I'm doing, I'm putting the voice grips on it, and I'll work my way from one end here now, clamp it, weld it, clamp it, weld it, work my way right around the other end. I'm not going to remove the Clecos because that's where everything got to go. Once I get that all tack welded in place, I'll go back then, I'll start doing the cut and butt on it. So I went ahead and I got it all tack welded in place, overlapped there now. Put up a bit of a fight because the way when you were coming around here, got a tendency to want to push everything apart as you tighten it up, right? But I had to redo this side over here twice. I didn't like it. I cut it clear, redid it again, right? And reshaped it. Then what I did is I grinded all the heads off the of what I had here, and I turned it up this way on the bench and hammered it down into the bench. So that way I used the bench as a dolly, and I flattened out this area here. So this here was a contour, gradual contour across here. I went ahead then and I welded up, took a piece of brass, and I welded up all the holes that were in it. This stuff seems to be welding a lot better than the body panels on the car, so this stuff here might have been a little bit heavier. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead now and start doing the cut butt along here. Here's what I was talking about here. See the way this is all tucked up here now? What I got to do, I tried starting from the middle and there was no movement here. I couldn't get nothing to move. I would have had to stretch everything. And I don't like when it has to do that. So I come back down here and I started on this end here, doing the cut butt up along here. And as you can see, now I'm chasing after. I'm going to have to chase after all the way along there. But instead of cutting like 4 inches or so, I'm going to have to cut a section about 6 inches. So I can put the tuck way up here out of the way so I can work this section down here. And that's what I'm going to have to do. I'm going to have to chase that right around the entire panel. I tried doing it the other way, but there was no give to it. So it's trial and error is what it is. You're doing a crown panel like this here, trying to do a cutting butt on a large area like this here. So it can get tricky. And I can tell you right now, try to cut to fit that, you'll be in some state as well. So anyway, I'm going to continue on. I'm going to cut this up here now. And cut more of this and then start fitting this here as I'm going. You'll see the tuck moving up here. See how bad this has got here now? I got to cut this clear down here in order to get this to relax. Then I'm going to have to come back here and start fitting it to go along here. She's tricky. If you look closely there, you can see where the weld was up here. The weld actually moved down a good 1/4 of an inch right here, okay, as it came along. So this whole panel here moved this way a 1/4 of an inch because of the overlap. You're thinking about this pretty wall because you turn around and you started from up here and start coming this way. The panel had to go somewhere when it fell. It had to go forward, okay? And this is what it did. Look, full 1/4 of an inch. You can see the top of the weld there and the top of the weld there. Same with that one there. Right. I'm going to go ahead now and get this welded up, and then I'm going to grind the heads off of these here and dolly it some, because some of this here is not fitting good. Now I got to get the piece out from behind it, which is let go there now. Got to work on some of it. Get that out of there. But I'll get that done now. So I went ahead and I turned around and I grinded all the heads off all the welds. Then I went back and I started dollying it all. So I was happy with the process from one transition to the other. Some of them I didn't like. I cut them and re-welded them again, dollied them, re-welded them, right? So that I'm happy with it. This is the time that you really got to put a bit of time into this here to try to get a good transition. Now, I don't expect this here to be absolutely perfect because there's a lot going on with this panel, especially with the two different, this is like 20 gauge and that's 18, and you're on a crown panel, so the like when you taps it, this here will push farther than this here. But I'm happy with that there now. I'm going to go ahead now and just start blasting that welds on that there now. I should be able to weld an inch on this because it's a crown panel. And I'll skip an inch, weld an inch, skip an inch, right? And I'll get away with that. So anyway, let's get that welded up. Well, I got ahead of myself. You saw me there doing the cutting butt. I turned around, cut and grinded it. Then I re-welded it again. And then I turned around, grinded it again. Then I cleaned it up inside. Then I welded it inside. And then I cleaned that up. Then you see me weld a patch down this corner. This corner here was pretty rough down this corner. And I wanted it to extend down because I want my trunk floor to be able to weld on it with here. Like I want this down past my trunk floor. It's almost like a mud flap on your floor pan. And I wanted to put a piece in there, so I had to add a piece in here in this corner here. I had to cut that out and make up a piece for that and weld that in. I got it done. I just got right involved in that and got into it and just stuck my head into it and got it done. But I went over there and I test fitted the car. So I had some tweaking to do because once you weld stuff up, stuff moves on you, right? So I had to make some adjustments for the tweaking of it. Because the problem I had was now the holes that I put in the frame rail here don't line up no more. Because when I put them in, none of this lines up over here. And she's too far over this side here. There's a bit of a tweak and everything on it. So I put that back where it was. And then I turned around and just clamped that freely wherever it wanted to go. So, but I got that in place there now. I don't want to haul that out right yet. Because what I got to do now is I got to build an inner structure for here. That goes down to the bottom of the quarter panel, and also over here, same thing again. I got to continue on right here and build that section down to the rocker panel there. So I'm going to go over now and start building a couple of pieces for that and get them ready so I can actually mount them. I'd like to be able to have this piece here so I can actually cleco it in place in 2 or 3 places. That way I know that's where that goes, and then I can put this in after the fact, because this is going to be in the way for me to build the outer structure. And I just don't want to weld it all together as of yet. Haven't decided what way I'm going to do this yet. So that's what we're going to do here now, is make up them sections. So I went and found some steel and I cut out a couple of strips. I measured the length of them. I want them nice and long. So these 2 are for the front section of the wheel well. This one's for the back section. Bear with me with this now. What I got to do now is I got to bend these on 90 degree. Right? And all I did is I measured in from one side 1 inch. I just used a ruler. And then I ran a scribe line along there. Done the same thing with the other 2. Go over the breakdown, get them bent up. So I got the 3 pieces bent up on a 90, okay? What I got to do now is I got to put a curvature in it. I already got one done here. See the curvature I got to put on it? This here is the flow with the actual wheel tub itself. That's the arc that it's got to. I was over and I test fit that. That seems to be good. All I done that with was a stretcher. That's all I used on that. So I'm going to go over. I got to do the same thing. I'll make that one match this one now for the opposite side. So I'll make sure the 2 of them lines up this way here. That's the way 2 of them got to go on the car, like so. That'll be a continue on of that upper lip that I got. And then I got to do the same with the back here. And I just got to figure this one out on my own. I'll play with it a bit. The same as I did with that one there. Till I'm happy with the actual arc of it on the back side of the car. And that way I can actually start setting these up to actually mount them on that inner frame section. So let's get that all stretched up now. So I got them all bent up. I got them all done. I'm happy with them. I'm after testing them out. And 2 of these are the same. Okay. I went in and hauled this section out. This is the section that was in the car. Okay. What I'm looking to do is to extend these down. If you look at these the way they're made, it's just 2 little L brackets. Okay. That's what this here is now. Okay. All I'm looking to do is to extend the actual loop itself. Okay. What I did before I took it out, I laid this in place where I wanted it, got it to fit nice and scribed it, and then I turn around and I take this out. Now I'm going to put one side in at a time. You can see the scribe mark there, and I'm going to cut this off here. I'm going to lay this in place here, and I'm going to weld that on up here, and then I'm going to offset it on this next one, and have it just set up the same length, and we'll cut the back side off it, but not the same place, probably down a bit lower, and weld that one on. That way I'll have a new section that will continue on down to here. So let's get this done. Here's all I got done. I got the piece cut out of there. Okay, so one side is gone. I'm going to fit this in there now, and I get that set up there, and I'm going to weld that across there and get that one welded in place. Do a test fit on it, make sure it's still good. Do any adjustments that need to be done. And once that's done, then I'll come down here somewhere and I'll cut this one off on the other side, and I'll put the other one in to this one here, and I'll put a few plug welds in the other one and weld it together so that it's all one piece going right along there, and then I can grind and dress it. And that way your cuts are off-centered. They're not in the same location. There it is with a quick test fit. You can see where it's going to rest down on the rocker there, and I'll clamp it on there and it'll come up there. You can see the way that'll go there. So now that I got that one there and I'm happy with that, I'll weld it on, and I'll cut the other side off and get the other side welded on. There you have it. You can see where I've done the offset here. The two pieces. But I got the lip going down along there. That's going along down along there. So now it's actually made the wheel well bigger. Okay, for the back front side. So I'm going to go over now and test fit this and clamp this in place and hang on, drill it and put a cleco in it, so that is done. As you can see, I got it all put in place there in the cleco, and I went and reinstalled this here. Then I started to work on mounting the back section. I did some trimming on the inside there and removed a section of it, and I trimmed up the bottom so it clamped onto the actual bottom of the lip. This is where I want this to go, because I want the entire inner section here all covered in after, okay? And that's why I'm doing this now. By doing this, it makes this nice and straight going up along here. Everything lines up again with the original panel right there, okay? It lines up nice. But what's after happening now is I've after opening up the gap here, okay? When I let this go here from the clecos, it pulls it over and it doesn't look right. I've been playing with this now since I put it back in, and I didn't like the way it was looking. Now I cut the bottom out of this here and put a piece in there, and then I went and dollied all this edge up. And what I think I end up doing is that when I put the piece in there, I folded it over a little bit too much, and then I ended up folding all this here to match that, and it made it tighter right there. So what I got to do now is I've been thinking about it, and I'm just going to turn around and make a whole new piece that goes in there and have it so it fits there. And I'll actually do the cutting bolt in through there and have it so that it touches the rail here. And then I'll bring this section of the fender out this way. Okay? That's what I ended up doing. I have to trim that up, and there's something telling me when I trimmed it up, Tony, don't trim it up yet, leave it alone. But no, I still trimmed up the actual lip, so I may have to put a strip down inside here yet when I bring this back out to where it got to go. But before I does that, I'm going to turn around and get this straightened away, get this all welded together so I can clamp that in place. So then this here will have a home that it will go in every single time I put it in the car. There we have the actual entire piece all made up. This here will join on to the bottom of the quarter panel. This will join on up on the roof post, and this will join onto the front rocker. This gives me a circumference from here to here of about 33 inches. Okay, I'm only going with a 28-inch tall tire, so there's lots of room there. And of course the wheel well is smaller than that anyway. I think the wheel well is 30 maybe, 29. But I got that all made up now. It's all welded up over here. I've done a few plug welds through here, and then I butt welded it over here. Welded it up, trimmed everything off, trimmed this off here. I went and removed the old brace that was up here, cleaned that up. Okay. So now I can take that and reinstall it and start working on getting that tub straightened up. So I got that reinstalled, everything, I'm happy where everything's to. Then I cut the section out of the bottom of the wheel tub again, and I fit that in place, put it where I wanted to, let it relax. You can see the gap going up through here. And I took the piece that I cut out and I made a bigger one. like so, okay? I got that piece made there now. I'll go over and I'll fit that so that it overlaps on the top. This brings up in the actual frame rail, and I can clamp this in place. I'll put a couple of tacks on it, and then I'll build everything around this piece here. Simple patch. Yeah, some simple patch, all right. I am willing to say I am an hour and a half now playing with this, trying to get this corner ironed out from about here to here, okay? It is turning into a nightmare on me. The problem I got is the way the wheel well turns. I'm trying to get it so it comes out flush, this edge here, and it's not going to happen, okay? When I do pull it out there, it stretches everything, it pulls everything over this way here, and you know, you could sit down and probably want to rework it or something like that. I'm trying to retain what was already there. So I turn around, I play it around with it, move stuff around, and I gotta live with that. That's it. The floor is gonna come over here and tuck in here. It'll be a small gap going down through here, only to here, right? But like I'm gonna be seam sealing it anyway, so. But I was trying to get it back tighter, and I'm telling you that was putting up some fight. Yeah, because every time I went and put an edge there to bring it back, it brought the wheel well over this way. This is what was going on. It bring it over this way. So then when I clamp it tight, it draw all this over this way here. Then if I let go this here will be cocked. The shape wouldn't be right. In order for this to flow properly, up over the back of the car this way here, that's got to be like it is. Because when I was thinking about splitting it up through here, doing all kinds of stuff with it, and it's just like, no, leave it alone. I'm not going to remake more work for myself, so I got it like this now. I'm content with it, happy with it. It's not where I wanted it. I got to realize too, I'm trying to put a round wheel tub in a square chassis car, right? So there's going to be some discrepancies like this here. Only way to do this now is to open up the wheel well, change everything again. I'm not going at it. I'm going to live with that. I got enough room there for tires, and I can work with it when it comes to doing the floors and stuff. They look good down here. This will tuck in behind. It's just that going up through here, there's going to be a bit of a gap. I can probably come out. I might be able to work around it. So I'm not going to lose sleep over it. I'm going to have to take this out now and get this all welded up, get that back to where it's done, so I can actually get that finished up. And there you have it in place. I got it all clamped up. Everything is there. I'm happy with it now. It's got a nice shape going to it all the way along the top there. Right. It was a bit tricky getting this mounted in there, right? I had to figure a lot of things out. And, you know, you're just starting from scratch, and you're dealing with using a factory wheel tub in it as well. So you can see how it's looking over there now. Looks good from this angle here. Coming from the front then, looking back at it. It's got like a nice style to it. You can see now the way the wheel tub goes. I got a mounting point then for an interior panel. Going all the way down there now to the bottom of the actual rocker panel. The way I got it all joined on. I like doing them like, you know, in two pieces like this here. It's a lot easier. Trying to make them fit and make the inside look nice, and have it so that it don't look like a big barrel in the back of it. That's always been a trick, right? I got a lot more work to do with this yet. I got a lot of time put into this video here now, but you get an idea of where I'm going to with this. And my next one now, I'm going to go over how I do the outside section of it. It's a big undertaking. There's a lot of work I'm doing with these wheel tubs to achieve something as simple as just an oval shaped wheel tub. I could have turned around and just made up a simple barrel unit and put it in there, welded a few tabs on it, and it would have been done. But I don't know. It's something that I find now when I open the trunk in this car, I'm going to see a nice shaped wheel tub. I'm not going to see a big old drum in the back of it to make it actually look like it's a full-on Pro Street car. It kind of throws you off when you see that. That is like the wheel well that it is. Once you see it's like a tub in the back of a car, right off the bat it's Pro Street, right? Now granted, this car was pretty well Pro Street, I suppose you want to call it, but it's only a small tub and a small tired car, full chassis car, right? But anyway, I'm going to continue on with this one here, but I'm going to leave this one here because I got a lot of time put into it. I hope the tips are good, and until next time.